Love isn't always simple, and passion often comes at a price. Welcome to Intrigue Romance, where secrets, betrayal, and forbidden desires collide. Tonight, we take you into a story you won't forget, where love is never what it seems. The last rays of sunlight stretched across the horizon as Emma tightened her backpack straps and looked around the clearing she had found near Crystal Lake. She had been hiking all day, her boots crunching over the winding trail that led deep into Pine Ridge, a remote area known for its serene beauty and untamed wilderness. This trip was her chance to disconnect from the city and reconnect with herself, something she desperately needed after months of stress. By the time Emma pitched her tent, the forest was bathed in the dusky glow of twilight. She sat by the water's edge, sipping from her water bottle, marveling at the reflection of the first stars shimmering on the lake's surface. The quiet was calming, broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves and the occasional chirp of crickets. Just as she began to feel completely at ease, the sound of footsteps crunching on gravel made her freeze. She turned sharply, her pulse quickening as two men emerged from the shadows, their flashlights casting long beams of light across the campsite. "Hey, sorry to bother you," the taller of the two said, his voice friendly yet cautious. "I'm Ben and this is Alex. Our tent got completely wrecked by the wind a little ways back. We've been hiking for hours, and we're hoping we could crash nearby for the night." Emma's initial reaction was hesitation. Her instincts told her to be wary, especially as a solo traveler. But looking at them, she saw no signs of malice. Ben had an easy smile, his blonde hair messy from the day's trek, and Alex, quieter and more reserved, appeared genuinely exhausted, his dark brown hair damp with sweat. "Okay," Emma said finally, her voice steady despite the nervous flutter in her chest. "You can stay, but let's keep some space." Relief washed over their faces as they thanked her. The men quickly set up their sleeping bags on the other side of the clearing. Ben, ever the extrovert, struck up a conversation, telling Emma about their mishap with their tent and how they had underestimated the weather in the area. Alex chimed in occasionally, his words thoughtful and soft-spoken, as he explained his love for photography and how he hoped to capture the beauty of Pine Ridge. Just as the night seemed to settle into a rhythm, the wind picked up sharply, howling through the trees. Dark clouds gathered overhead, and within minutes, a torrential downpour began. The men's sleeping bags were instantly soaked, and they scrambled to gather their belongings. Emma unzipped her tent and looked out at the drenched figures. She sighed, knowing what she had to do. "Get in here," she called out, motioning for them to join her. The three of them squeezed into Emma's small tent, the air thick with the scent of damp clothing and rain-soaked earth. The situation was undeniably awkward, but there was a shared understanding that survival and shelter took precedence over discomfort. "Thanks for letting us in," Ben said, his voice sincere as he wiped water from his face. "No problem," Emma replied, though her heart was still racing. "Just don't make me regret it." The tight quarters forced them to sit close, knees nearly touching. To ease the tension, Ben began telling humorous stories about his past hiking trips, including a time he accidentally pitched his tent on an anthill. Emma couldn't help but laugh, the sound breaking the tension. Alex, though quieter, shared a story about a photograph he had taken in Yosemite that had been featured in a local magazine. As the storm raged outside, their conversation deepened. Emma shared how this trip was her way of regaining a sense of independence after a tough breakup. Ben talked about how hiking had become his escape from a demanding corporate job, while Alex revealed his dream of leaving his small town and traveling the world with his camera. Hours passed, and the storm finally began to subside. The rain slowed to a gentle patter, and the wind calmed, leaving behind the fresh, clean scent of the forest. Exhausted but oddly comforted by their newfound camaraderie, the three dozed off, lulled by the rhythmic sound of raindrops against the tent. When Emma awoke, the first light of dawn was filtering through the tent's fabric. She stepped outside to find the forest transformed, the storm having left everything glistening with dew. The lake reflected the soft hues of the sunrise, a breathtaking sight that made her forget the discomfort of the night before. Ben and Alex emerged from the tent shortly after, both looking equally awed by the scene. They packed their belongings, their movements slow as if reluctant to leave. "Thanks for trusting us," Alex said as he shouldered his backpack. "We owe you one." Emma smiled. "It wasn't exactly how I planned this trip, but I'm glad it happened." Ben chuckled. "Who knows? Maybe we'll run into each other on another trail someday." As they parted ways, Emma felt a mix of emotions. What had started as a solitary adventure turned into an experience that reminded her of the kindness and humanity that could exist even among strangers. The night in the tent, though unexpected, became a story she would carry with her forever, a testament to trust, courage, and the beauty of connections formed in the unlikeliest of circumstances.